Like they'll be showing a goat, and the mountain will be like this, and it just looks like they're effortlessly going down it or crawling up it because it's ambitious. That's more so about Capricorn, but I'm just saying that Saturn is about climbing that ladder. Saturn is about taking sure, exact, methodical, practical steps to go even up the tallest of ladders. Saturn is the planet of transformation because you have to take this step. Transformation is a slow process, and as Saturn is aging, you see how Saturn represents them both. See, over time we age. It's a transformation, or a plant and it's growing. It doesn't just it it starts. The growth starts on the inside. We can't even see it, and that's what Saturn. Another thing Saturn is. Saturn is things. Is the it's the dark places, the place what happens underground, and things like that. So for this person, they have Saturn in Aquarius, the most homey place Saturn can be, and that is even more important, and that is more powerful than the exaltation placement. Because I like the analogy that I heard that basically a planet in exaltation, like Saturn being in Libra, would be on high, like it was high, like it was like in La La Land in paradise. You don't want to live like that though. You want to, in general, I'm just saying, like people, you want to go and have vacations, but you're gonna get like you want to go, come home. You want to gonna come home to where you're comfortable. So when you have a planet in its own place, it'll always feel like it's at home. It'll always do. Nothing shakes it. Nothing can, make it feel like it's not in the best of conditions. And that's how Saturn acts in Aquarius, because Saturn is the original ruler of Aquarius. What is Aquarius? Commonplace, commonwealth. It's about humanitarian actions, organizations. It puts Aquarius is they like everybody's equal. They put everybody on the same plane, whether you human, black, white, purple, whether you're an animal, whether you're a tree. They all we are all living. We are all in existence. We are all witnessing each other, so everybody's at the same thing. And that's what Saturn does its best. The work it puts in is for everybody. It doesn't just say, okay, well, I'm only working for the high class people. Or, I'll only go out and bust my ass and work and be all disciplined and get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and work for 12 hours if I'm getting this certain thing, only under certain conditions. And in Aquarius, it is not about that. Saturn looks at everything and everybody. So no matter what work has to be done, no matter what the that boundary I was talking about is, Saturn is able to see the boundary, know the boundary, and step out of it to where there's no boundary. That's what Aquarius is. They don't like boundaries. I'm an Aquarius. I don't like authority. I don't like. Ugh, I can't get down with it. I just can't. I deal with it. But anyway, with Saturn in Aquarius will say, okay, these are the rules. Okay, I'll follow the rules, but only to a certain extent. I have to break this. I have to break the cast. I have to break the moves. I have to break how things are regularly done. I have to break the status quo. I have to break the boundaries. I have to bring something new. I got to bring something progressive. I got to bring something inventory, something that ain't never been seen or done before. That's the best place for Saturn to be, because key word I said is progressive. And Saturn, like I said, is you're going to pay. Saturn makes you pay or reward you. And so if Aquarius wants to progress, that's usually a positive thing. They want things to be better for humanity. That's what any planet that sits in Aquarius. That's the personality of the planet. And Saturn being there, it wants to put in work for everybody. Like, man, it's got to be a better way. That's what Saturn's saying here. It's got to be a better way. It's got to be a smarter way. It's got to be a better way for humanity. And Saturn being Saturn is going to take those steps to do that. Saturn is going to organize. Saturn is going to be disciplined enough. Saturn is going to be determined enough. Saturn is going to adhere to the rules enough to where it can bring in new rules. Not new rules, but new ways of doing something. Like if Saturn is I don't know, making coffee, it'll, keep making it. It's, the Saturn in like Capricorn will keep making the coffee the same way. It'll, I don't know, it'll get, the coffee pot, it'll make it, the way it knows how to make it. It won't try and come up with quicker ways or better ways, inventive ways, progressive ways of doing it. Saturn in Aquarius, that's what Saturn in Aquarius does. Saturn in Aquarius does, man, I know it's a better way. I could make this coffee. It could be easier. It could taste better. So let me invent a process or a machine that makes the coffee even better, and to where you don't have to even really do anything. Like they have coffee makers where you push the button and it makes it. Like Saturn Aquarius will be like, I want some coffee. I want some good coffee, some coffee that I ain't never had before. And they'll push a button on the remote from their room, and somehow the coffee will stream through this filter, this where it cleans the coffee and comes and pour it, and they have it in a cup. And like the filter is lined with some plants or something that purifies the coffee and makes it taste better, and they don't have to get out of bed. That's Saturn in Aquarius. That's Saturn in Aquarius. And Saturn sits in, and Saturn is also time. Saturn is time. I forgot to mention that. Saturn is time. I don't know how. Old Father Time. Saturn is time. And so Saturn sits in the sixth house. Sixth house. One of the best places. This is an excellent Saturn, for the record. This is an excellent Saturn. Excellent Saturn. Because Saturn sits in his most comfortable place in one of the most comfortable houses it can be in the sixth house. Sixth house is a lot of things that Saturn is. Repetitive, over and 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 over work. So Saturn is going to be comfortable here. It's not irritated. Like, this is where I belong. So it's easy for these people to be the person I was talking about. And they have that. I'm sure you have it in you. Comment whose chart I'm doing. Comment and or email me if you feel any of this. But Saturn in the sixth house, they apply their discipline to their routine. Saturn here will say, no matter what's going on, I got to do this thing. I have to do this routine thing that I do I have to follow my routine. I got to stick to it, and they do. And they do stick to it. Um, um, Time is applied in your everyday routine too. Like you're on a time schedule because Saturn is time. Remember I said Saturn is time. In the sixth house, this is sixth house. Sixth house is service provided. It's everything Virgo is, but it's just an area of life. It's like it's a house. It is service to other people. Um, it is routine, like whatever your routine is. It is your routine life, your everyday grind, your everyday struggle. You know, this is a house where practice makes perfect. Where you do the practice and it makes perfect. So it's places like it could be work, it could be the basketball court, it could be the workout room. Wherever you come and you practice every day to get better, more efficient at what you do, is the sixth house. Sixth house is your dealing with pets. Because with pets, it has to be a routine or they're just going to shit the place up. And it's going to, you know, the house is going to be the filth. And the dog's not going to get clean, not going to get fed. You got to have some kind of routine. Sixth house is the house of your co-workers, your work environment, work itself. Because especially the job that I work, I spend more time at work than I do at home. So, and that's your everyday routine. Everyday routine. Sixth house is a house of analysis of everything and everyone that goes against you and obstructs you, that keeps you from where you're going or where you're trying to get to. It's the sixth house. Probably my favorite house. Yeah. Sixth house is the house of your health. Health, not your health, but health consciousness or lack thereof. Like, are you smoking every day and not aware of what it's doing to you every day? Or are you you'll go to the gym for 30 minutes and you're logging, okay, I did, I did 10 laps around the track for this long and I burned this many calories. That's the sixth house. And so when Saturn is in the sixth house, this is a placement like where it seems like their whole life is their daily life is from a list, like it's planned already. And with this placement, it is, whether these people consciously or not plan their day out. Everything, like, okay, they didn't already thought it through. If you're not aware of this, they've thought it through. They've did the whole day in their heads already. So it just becomes a little. It just becomes a whole, like it's done already, like it's premeditated already. It's like, how can I put it? Yeah, how was I say it? Like these people, like there's no, can I put it? Just go with the flow in their daily routine. Day by day, if you're around these people routinely, or you who have this, or know somebody who's like this, I'm sure there's some influence of Saturn on the sixth house. There's no go with the wind. Everything has to be set, a purpose, a reason, a time, how long it's going to do it, how long are we going to do it, what are we getting out of it, why am I doing it, and we're talking about you. So it's like every activity you do is routine, is planned out, is exact, it's structured, There's a time to it. There's a consequence. You know what the consequence is. You know that the consequence is going to get you this thing, and I know if I don't do this thing, it'll do that. That's how their daily routine goes. And Saturn being here, and remember I said sixth house is a house of everything that comes and tries and obstruct you from where you're going, like health, disease, like diseases, debts, co-workers who might be competing against you. All those things that I said are in one way or another keeping you from where you want to go. Disease you want to have is obstructing you from good health. Debt is obstructing you from good credit. You know, being in a credit score that you want, whatever you want to call it. Co-workers are keeping you from getting a promotion, or being one up on them or something like that. It could go. I could go on about, but you get what I'm saying about six houses of things that obstruct you, and people that obstruct you. And with Saturn here, Saturn comes and destroys all of that stuff. Because sixth house is one of the houses that get better and better over time, and Saturn gets better and better and better over time at just nullifying all of those things through Saturn, through planning, organization, discipline, determination, following the rules, thinking of progressive ways, inventive ways to one up the person like never been done before. That's why I said sixth house is one of the best places for Saturn to be in, because sixth house and Saturn, a lot of things about them are the same. And sixth house is a house which over time gets better and better. And Saturn being here is going to get better and better at defeating all of those things. Beautiful placement. Now Saturn has two major aspects. I'm going to do the major ones, because the minor ones, no, it has three major aspects. And because like the minor ones, they matter, but it just be long drawn out. Yeah, and I have to do that like another time. I can do that if you would like in another time. But Saturn is square to the sun. Saturn squares the sun. We already know what the sun is. We already know what Saturn is. So everything that I was saying, like these people, when it comes to their everyday work life, their everyday routine, dealing with pets, dealing with just obstruction, their everyday struggle, even though they're good and they're methodical and everything is time sensitive and they know the consequences of everything and everything like that, it's squared up against who they express themselves to be. It's squared up. It's in conflict with that creative side of them. The creative side that is not Venus, but I mean creative in the way they express themselves. And like I said, it could be through dance, through vocal, through anything. But Saturn and Sun, they're actually enemies. They're natural enemies. But I'm talking about and they're enemies because you got to look at the nature of them. Look at the nature of them. Sun is hot. It's burning hot. Sun or Saturn is a cold planet. Excuse me.